You are not confused about what they did to you. It's with you when you fall asleep and when you wake up. Stop minimizing it. There's no confusion when somebody looks you in the eyes and lies to you. That smile on their face. There's no confusion. It's the clearest thing in the world. What's confusing it is your good heart that says, I would never do that to somebody. So I can't see others doing that to me. So I'm gonna wrap the story in confusion so that I don't see them for who they are. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beyond Words with me, Nejwa Zabian. I've always been a firm believer in the power of words to heal what they didn't break and to break what they had no right in breaking. And today's episode is on closure. Closure, in my view, is a myth. And I genuinely don't believe that you need closure. I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do instead. Because the truth is, you don't need closure. You need to stop going back to someone expecting something from them that they have shown you they can't give you. You need to stop expecting them to apologize. You need to stop expecting them to take responsibility, even though I know you so badly want them to. You need to stop wishing that you can see them suffer the way they made you suffer. You need to stop waiting for your healing from someone who has already shown you that they will take part in what destroys you. The first thing I want you to do instead of seeking closure from them is stop trying to make them understand. Stop repeating yourself and saying, but this is how you hurt me, and this is what you did, and this is what you should have done differently, and this is what I need from you, and you don't understand how much you hurt me. Let me explain it to you. Stop that. They know how they hurt you. And I know it's tough to hear. They know how they hurt you. And if they don't, and you're hurting as much as you're hurting, that's even worse. Because they contributed to your breaking, to your pain, just by doing something for themselves. They didn't even consider you in that equation. You need to stop explaining yourself to someone that you've written books and dictionaries and encyclopedias about how you feel, about how their actions make you feel, about what you need, about what your wants are, about the things that make you happy and the things that make you sad. You've explained enough. The best thing you can do is to stop talking. Stop repeating the same story to them. They know. Even if it's just in your mind, even if you're not actually physically going to them to talk to them about the way they hurt you. You're walking around during the day and you're pretending like you're in an imaginary court and you're defending yourself. And you're laying out the truth the way that it is to an audience that doesn't exist. You don't need people to believe what you went through for you to believe that you went through it. You don't need to convince the person who hurt you and the people around them that they actually hurt you and that the pain impacted you in the way that it did. The more you explain yourself, the more you try to explain yourself, the more you get stuck in that loop in your mind of going over the story over and over and what you should have said differently and what you could have done differently, you're still bonded to them. You're still holding on to them. And you could say, I'm moving on, but I'm still in pain. But But if you're moving on while you're still in pain, and the moving on still explains to them, even just in your mind, what they did to you, you're still bonded to them. There's still hope in your mind that if they could just understand the impact of what they did, that they could reverse it. That they will say, oh, I had no idea I hurt you that much. Let me fix that. They know how much they hurt you and they don't want to fix it. If they did want to fix it, you would know. You wouldn't be working so hard to try to convince them. You wouldn't be trying so hard to read between the lines of their silence. You wouldn't be extracting words from them. If a person hurts you and they care about how their actions make you feel, they'll say, I'm sorry. And they'll mean it. And it will show in their actions. If they needed your explanation to understand how they hurt you, they are not the kind of person who understands you the way you need to be understood. You are someone who would never hurt somebody in that way. You are someone with a heart that's so empathetic that would never do the thing they did. So if you're sitting with someone, explaining to them how the terrible thing they did hurt you, like they needed your explanation, that's not your person. That's not somebody who belongs in your life. Let them go find people who are as cruel and inconsiderate as they are. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are people in this world who you meet a couple and you're like, the two of you are so fit together. We have a saying in Arabic, we say it's like a pot that found its lid, you know? Some people are like that. They don't really think too much about how their actions impact others. They deserve each other. You deserve someone who is like you, who cares about the way that your actions make the person that you love feel. You deserve someone who's like you, who's loyal, who's honest, who puts their best effort forward to make the person in their life feel loved and considered. That's what you deserve. A person who needs you to explain the pain they caused you for them to understand it will never understand it in the way that you need. The second thing I want you to do when you feel this ache for closure is stop minimizing what they did to you. We minimize what they did to us to keep justifying our attachment to them, to keep justifying what holds us to them. Maybe if you tell yourself that what they did wasn't bad enough, then you keep the door that they walked out of the moment that they hurt you a little bit open for them to come back. There's hope. There's hope that things will be different, that they'll come back, that they will be different. When you minimize what they did to you, you won't feel so bad about the possibility of welcoming them back into your life. So stop minimizing what they did to you. You know the weight of it. You know how it hurt you. You know how bad that moment was. Stop telling yourself, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I took it too hard. Maybe this, maybe that. Stop maybeing your way out of how bad they treated you. Stop doing that to yourself. Minimizing the story in your head doesn't minimize what they actually did. It only keeps you bonded to them. You're not confused about what they did to you. Listen to that again. You are not confused about what they did to you. It's with you when you fall asleep and when you wake up. It goes to the grocery store with you. It comes up every time you're going to be a bit vulnerable with somebody. It comes up when you're having a really hard day and you're feeling bad for yourself. You know what they did to you. Stop minimizing it. Stop telling yourself, I don't know. I was in a bad state at that time. Maybe I did something to cause them to do that. No. There's no confusion when someone tries to break you. There's no confusion when somebody looks you in the eyes and lies to you. There's no confusion when somebody cheats on you. There's no confusion when somebody backstabs you. When somebody assassinates your character, there's no confusion when somebody wants to see you in pain and you see that smile on their face. There's no confusion. It's the clearest thing in the world. What's confusing it is your good heart that says, I would never do that to somebody. So I can't see others doing that to me. So I'm going to wrap the story in confusion so that I don't see them for who they are. You have to see them for who they are. They've presented themselves to you. They're not hiding anything. The moment they chose to break you in the way they did, they revealed themselves to you. So take off your confusion glasses and see clearly what you already know if you're sitting and being honest with yourself. That's the truth. The third thing I want you to do when you feel like you're aching for closure from them is write down exactly what you need from them and give it to yourself. I need them to acknowledge what they did. I know what they did. I know how it affected me. I know how it changed my life. I don't need anybody outside of me to validate for me the pain that they put me through. It's one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. To stop putting the pen of your healing in the hand of someone who would write an ending for you that takes you to hell. After taking you through hell, you take that pen. Because if you were to give them that pen, you know what they would write? I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't as bad as you're painting it. You're too sensitive. Something must be wrong with you. And you've given them that pen for so long. Take it and give yourself that acknowledgement and that validation. If you need their apology, you need to start by apologizing to yourself for waiting for that apology from them for so long. Because they're the ones who spilled the pain on you. You're the one who got the pain stuck in every crevice of your being. You're the one who needs to feel that there's some kind of remorse. And they're not willing to give that to you. So stop giving that much power to somebody who chose to give you pain instead of love, to give you pain instead of loyalty, to give you pain instead of being the person they promised you they were. They're never going to apologize. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be listening to me right now. You're going through it. They're never going to see what they did. And believe me, I wrote about this. I wrote about this in The One Who Broke You Can't Heal You. Believe me, when that day comes and the person who hurt you apologizes, it will not do a single thing for you. One of you actually commented that you did get the apology and it did absolutely nothing. And it made me think of a story that I shared in The One Who Broke You Can't Heal You, where someone in my life did return and they did apologize. And I realized in that moment that I didn't need the apology. Sometimes you hold on to this, I need this to move on. And then when you get that thing you think you need to move on, you realize that your healing was never dependent on it. It was only dependent on your willingness to move on without it. You don't need closure in the form of this beautifully wrapped up story with a golden bow that says, this ended with them apologizing. This ended with them regretting what they did to me. This ended with them suffering in a way that made them realize what they put me through. You don't need that. You're the one who puts the bow on the story that says, I will no longer accept having someone in my life who would do that to me. And I will no longer put my peace in the hands of someone who only wanted to cause me chaos. The source of your peace cannot be the instigator of chaos in your life. They can't be the same person, but you think they can be. Because you think, but if they decide to not be so chaotic in my life, then I'll be at peace. But since when was peace only the absence of chaos? The absence of chaos is not peace. The absence of chaos is walking on eggshells, bracing yourself for the next bad thing that's going to happen. The absence of chaos is saying, oh, we had a good day today, no fights. The absence of chaos is walking around feeling like your life is in black and white. Don't say, I just don't want chaos anymore from this person. You have to say what you do want. And what you do want is love, presence, attunement, transparency, alignment, openness, communication, feeling like you're on the same page. What you want from that person is to know where you stand in their life. So the more and more you seek closure from someone who was never willing to give you any of those things, the longer you are delaying moving on to the next chapter in your life. And if you decide to move on to the next chapter in your life while still holding on to your need for closure from them, the pain they caused you will spill on every person who walks into your life in that next chapter, and you know it. You've been in a relationship with an avoidant before, and if you have been, you know that you were at the receiving end of pains that other people in their past caused them. So if you know the impact of not healing your wounds because you've been impacted by somebody's unhealed wounds, do not allow the fact that you're holding on to closure from someone in your past to make you somebody who spills the pains of your unhealed wounds on people in your life who have no fault and who don't deserve that. So the next time you ache for any kind of closure from them, apology, forgiveness, acknowledgement, remorse, give that to yourself. Write a letter to yourself. Whether they come back and decide to write a similar letter to you or not, that doesn't matter. Don't put your healing on hold until someone realizes how they actually hurt you. Okay? Do not put your healing on hold until someone realizes how much they hurt you. You deserve so much more than that. Your life deserves so much more than that. It's time for words from me to you. I was so excited to share this with you because it changed my life. I know it will change yours. In moments of doubt, repeat to yourself, it did happen. It was that bad. I didn't deserve it. I have the right to be hurt. This is from The One Who Broke You Can't Heal You. Just a reminder, you can pre-order this, and I would really, really appreciate it if you do. It would mean the world to me if you took 10 seconds to contribute to the welcome of The One Who Broke You Can't Heal You into the world. And now it's time for Words That Found Me. And these words are by Maya Angelou. She says, no matter what happens or how bad it seems today, life goes on and it will be better tomorrow. How beautiful is that? To have hope past the pain. To have somebody acknowledge that what they did to you was that bad. And you had every right to feel that pain. But I guarantee you that what you're doing is you're waiting for them to give you permission to heal. You're waiting for their apology so that you could begin the healing. You don't need that. You could sit with yourself and tell yourself, I'm so sorry for what they did to you. That was terrible. You did not deserve that. It feels amazing to hear it from someone, especially when it's the person who caused us the pain. But how beautiful is it to get it from ourselves? To say, I'm so sorry, that was terrible. That voice of compassion is the one we need the most, our own compassion. It's not just that the one who broke you can't heal you. It's that only you can heal yourself. And you can make that choice today. You're not stuck because they didn't give you closure. You're stuck because you're still waiting for a person who showed you that they can never give you that closure to give it to you. Stop waiting for them. Your answer is here. It's you. Make that decision right now. Pause me if you need to, and take that mental picture of what your life would look like if you decided in this moment that you are no longer going to wait for their apology, that you are no longer going to wait for their acknowledgement, that you're no longer going to wait for closure from them. You're going to move forward with your life. You're going to close that door. This is my closure. I'm closing the door on the past, bolting it shut. We're moving forward. You can do that, and I believe in you. If this episode impacted you in any way, please pre-order The One Who Broke You Can't Heal You. This is the most amazing book I've written so far. If you read Welcome Home and you were like, oh my God, that was amazing, and I know hundreds of thousands of you have read that book, this is it on X Games mode. Like, this is so amazing compared to where I was in my life when I wrote Welcome Home, and the realizations I've made since then, and my ability to reflect back on my past way before I wrote Welcome Home. All of that is in here. And I poured my whole soul into this book. And I know you guys love those readings more than anything. So I just can't wait for you to have it in your hands and to start making your journey to the point where you feel like the bond that you have within yourself is so much stronger than any bond you have with a person outside of you. And what that would mean is that you will never again put your sense of who you are. You'll never again put your safety, you'll never again put your feeling of I'm good enough in anybody else's hands but yours. And you'll learn who to trust and how to trust. You'll learn how to reframe what it looks like to be open and vulnerable with someone, to let someone in, how to be bonded in a healthy way to someone. The next thing I want you to do, if this episode impacted you, is interact with it anyway. Like, comment, share, send it to somebody who you think it will help. And if you're on YouTube, give us a hype. I am so grateful that you are here. I hope that this episode helped you find healing beyond words. And until next time, have a wonderful day.